Alright Guardians, this is our weekly solo player's guide to the Nightfall. If you're new to the channel, we do this every single week with all three classes, Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. So those links are going to be in the description box down below if you're so interested. We also do a Challenge of Elders guide every single Tuesday. That's also going to be linked in the description box down below. Now, with Destiny 2 coming out next week, we'll have all the guides this coming Tuesday, so all 4 videos will be up that Tuesday instead of mixing in between Tuesday and Wednesday. But the following week, we're going to cut it down probably to 1 Nightfall guide, and we might not even do Challenge of Elders after that. It just kind of depends what you guys want. But we will be doing more than likely tons of Destiny 2 videos. Who knows? We'll be doing all the guides. Anything I can make a guide on, I will be making a guide on. We will also be doing a very honest Destiny 2 review either that Friday or Saturday. So whether or not I like it, I hate it, you guys will know my honest opinion. I'm not someone who's going to say, Destiny 2 is great because it's the thing I do on my channel now. If it sucks, I'm going to tell you guys, do not buy it. It will suck. I'm going to tell you guys, maybe you should rent it. So if you've never seen one of my reviews, that's how it's going to go down. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at the modifiers for this week's Nightfall. And then we're going to go into our setup. So we'll look at weapon recommendations, subclass recommendations, all that good stuff. And then we'll rock the guide. Modifiers this week include epic, heavily shielded, and highly aggressive enemies appear in great numbers. Fresh troops. Some enemy squads have been fortified with additional reinforcements. Match game. Enemy shields are resistant to all unmatched elemental damage, so if it's got a void shield, you're going to want void weapons. Catapult. Grenade recharge rate is greatly increased, so just keep throwing grenades. And exposure. Guardian shields are increased but do not replenish. That's a slight lie. They will replenish, but it will be extremely slowly. So just keep that in mind. Don't let your health get down too low. And then as far as setup goes, we start out with Hand of Judgment. The Doom of Chelchis Adept would be great because it's got Void to take out those Captain Shields. Or the Steel Medulla Adept is also another great choice. Word of Crota would probably be pretty decent. I will say you want to bring some sort of scout rifle with you towards the final boss fight, but other than that, you should be just fine. You do want Event Horizon, Ex Machina, or Devil's Dawn as your sniper rifle in Void if you have it. Otherwise, some sort of Void sniper will be really preferred. And then for the boss fight, either bring an icebreaker or a special ammo synth. You can buy those from the gunsmith in the tower. You are going to want to either one of those because you are going to want to have that damage output. And then you're also going to want to we rock Nova Mortis, some sort of either Void machine gun or rocket launcher. And then we switch to the Galhorn after a little while, just to get the massive mobs of enemies in the middle section out of the way. And then we're rocking Night Stalker, of course. I use Shade Step, but if you want to use Keen Scout, that's up to you. I definitely would not use Predator. That's more, I find that more of a PvP perk, but that's just me. You definitely want to rock Lockdown. Grenade and smoke effects last twice as long, allowing strong territory control. These two, this one will give you more armor and recovery with killing enemies with your super, but for the most part that's not going to last too long. And then Light of the Pack is just going to create more orbs of light. That definitely won't help you at all. I'm rocking Vanish and Smoke just in case I get into some really sticky situations, but if you want to rock Envenomed, that's fine too. For this one, I would actually really strongly suggest Bloodbound because you're not going to be using your super pretty much at all on the final boss fight, just because of how we're going to do it. And then I go between Spike Grenade and Void Wall Grenade. Either one will work well, depending, especially on the boss fight, depending on where you want, where he's at. You might want Void Wall over Spike Grenades, but for the most part, Spike Grenades, they're pretty awesome. I love them. Anyways, let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so this one starts off right in the Nightfall section, so if you want to, you can skip these enemies right here. Just go on the left side of the bridge and you can run straight past them. I would highly suggest killing these enemies though. There's just going to be a few Vandals, a few Acolytes, one Major Captain, and then there's going to be a second wave of Shanks and Vandals, and then just some more Vandals, and I think there's some Shanks that get dropped off by a fallen ship. So you definitely want these points because you will hit the gold medal very quickly. You'll get it just before the boss fight, if I remember right, which will help you out in the long run, so that way you can take a lot more time, less stress over the boss fight. So just go ahead and kill all these guys and then we'll move on to the next section. Alright, so once you get here, just go ahead and start taking out these, I think it's like 3 Vandals here. Go ahead and take them out if you can, as well as that Servitor. And then go ahead and jump over to the right. Up there is going to be 1 Knight, like 2 or 3 Acolytes, 2 more Vandals, and then there's going to be 3 Dregs. And then after that, you'll be able to knock out that Siva cluster pretty easily. It's going to be sitting in 1 of 3 places on the opposite side of that train, and then you'll be able to open that door into the next section. Alright, so once you get the door to open, there's going to be 2 Major Vandals, 2 Invis Vandals, and there's going to be 2 Dregs up there on that walkway in the back. Just go ahead and take them all out real quick. Shouldn't give you any kind of trouble. Just be careful with your health. You don't want to get that too low right away. And then you'll move on to the left of the room. In there, there's going to be 1 Major Captain and like about 10 Shanks. I wanted to say Servitors for a second, but that wasn't right. But go ahead and just kill all those guys as quick as possible. And then we'll move on to the stairs, which at the bottom of the stairs, there's going to be about 4 Vandals. Just go ahead and throw a grenade. If you're using a Spike Grenade, just go ahead and throw one on the side of the wall. And it'll take them right out, and then you'll just clear that the next room, which is again going to have a Major Captain and some Vandals in there. Just go ahead and take them all out. It shouldn't take you too long at all. And then we'll move on to the next section. Alright, so in this next hallway, there's going to be 2 major servitors and 4 vandals. Sometimes that is going to be split in half, and the 2 of those, half of that group is going to be in a room to the right. You'll still have to worry about them, deal with them. That will get annoying, but just keep that in mind. Just take them all out. This is a good opportunity to switch over to the Gjallarhorn. Try not to fail it miserably like I just did. And then just kind of stay at a distance and take them out. As you can see, we still got 23 minutes. There's no real rush yet. Just go ahead and take them out, and then we'll move on into the next room, which will have 2 major vandals, a captain, a red bar health, captain is normal, and then some dregs. You are going to want to take all of those guys out before you come back into this room, because otherwise they will come running up behind you, and you will get surrounded between the guys that come through the door, as well as whatever adds you didn't kill in this section here. So just be very careful about that. It nearly cost me this run. As you'll see, I get really, really close to dying. And it's something you definitely don't want to do. So just go ahead and take everything out. Like I said. And then you should be good to go. Alright, so once you've killed everything in that last room, can't stress that enough, I would actually go ahead and pop your super as soon as that opens, and let Bloodbound do its work. Let's go ahead and pop some Gjallarhorn shots in there. Hopefully it takes out a lot of stuff before it comes out. As you can see, I'm not paying that much attention. This is what happens when you do not kill everything in that last section, so it makes it a whole lot more stressful. So just take the time, like I said, kill everything. You don't have to worry about it. Through that door, though, there's going to be 4 major vandals, 1 major captain, and a bunch of just regular red bar health vandals, as well as 3 turrets. And you are going to want to stay away from those turrets. So just keep a good distance. I'd say that rocket that's on the right-hand side of the screen right now is about pretty good distance to stay with. So just kind of keep that in mind. Don't get too close, or they will start shooting at you and they will melt you really quick. Other than that, just take them out before you run into the room, and we'll move on to the next section. Once you get here, there's usually 3 dregs on the right hand side. This time there wasn't for whatever reason. Go ahead and kill these. There's going to be 3 major vandals. 1's there. 2 are going to be in the room. Be very careful. If you got Gjallarhorn, just go ahead and take a couple rockets out at them. There's also going to be 2 major, not majors, but normal vandals in the back there, as well as a major captain. If you throw your grenade at that little pillar that I'm shooting next to, you can actually hit him, as you'll see right here. If you got Gjallarhorn, just go ahead and waste it on him just to move this along. Otherwise, go ahead and keep throwing grenades. You'll eventually run him down. And then there's just going to be a couple more vandals in the back once you get that done, and then you will be able to run over into the next section. Alright, and depending on which room you actually get, I would suggest going to the left and making your way through this room like I do here, because as you can tell, I'm just getting destroyed from every angle here. Just be very careful. I think there's about 5 or 6 of those shanks, and then that servitor is just a regular red bar health enemy. Be careful of him. Take them all out, and you should be pretty decently easy to finish off. Like I said, just be careful. He will pump out some damage. And then once you get that, you should be cleared to get the Siva cluster, and we'll move on to the final section before the boss fight. Alright, so hopefully you get the cluster right here, or the one down the stairs in this room. That way you can just kind of pop in, get the cluster, and then pop right back out. And then let's go ahead and jump down here. Examine the ogre real quick, and then run over here to the right side of the room. This is a little bit tougher than I remember on the hunter, but what you want to do is there's a little crack right there that you can jump into. Go ahead and try and get it. There we go. You want to kind of aim for that rock that was just in front or in the far back that's connected to this rod. If you can hit that, you'll be perfect. You can kind of hide behind this little rock that we're standing or crouching behind. You can crouch up and down. Just don't go too far to the left, because you will hit a kill wall and you will get that 4-second warning. Or too far to the right, obviously you'll fall down, and it is very stressful to have to jump back up here, as you can tell, especially with the hunter. But just go ahead and pump this guy full of whatever damage you possibly can. Once he gets over here, it gets really annoying because he will hide behind that pillar. And this is where I suggest using either Void Wall or the that third option for grenades. As you can see, I already fell down trying to do some damage. Didn't get in the right spot. There we go. Maybe not. See, this is where it gets really stressful. I think I might even die here. I don't remember. Maybe not. Maybe yes. Get up there? No? Anyways, what you just want to do is just pretty much follow Kovic around the boss. Deal damage to him as whatever way you possibly can. As you see with Gjallarhorn, what I just do is kind of shoot off to the side. Now, I think the majority of that damage is to those dregs. There's a group of little dregs hiding behind there with him. But go ahead and just, like I said, do damage any way you possibly can. Run out all of your special weapon energy, and then switch over to your icebreaker or pop those heavy special synths. And as you can see, void grenades are not going to get through that little hole. So you do have to aim your grenade just right. And what I was trying to do is, if you crouch and get to just a certain area, if you aim just above those little glowing lights, you will be able to kind of toss a grenade. Or if you want to switch over to Gunslinger, you can use incendiary grenades, and those are a lot easier. Since you won't be using your super, you might even be able to use your super. I should have thought of that on my run, but that's too late for that. But go ahead. So you aim too slow. You want to aim for that lower two lights, just above them, and you're perfect. Otherwise, this section is going to take a little while. He was running in weird directions. Normally, he starts where he starts at, and then he goes back, and then he comes to this section. But he went straight for this section, so I didn't get really a decent at all health out of him. But once you get down to about a third of health, wherever he runs, that is where the shanks start loading in, and that's when it gets a little hairy. You are going to want to kill those shanks, because as you'll see later in the video, when they do spawn in, they will start shooting me down from about where that grenade landed. So be very careful with them. And then the third and final little bit of wave with like his last fifth or sixth of health, some fallen will spawn in, and they'll start shooting at you if you get too far to the right. So just be very careful about that. You literally want to be just at the right spot, and then just finish off the boss. And that's gonna do it for this video. Just be very careful about falling off. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and look in the description box down below for those links to those guides. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Watch out for some Destiny 2 next week that drops. I cannot wait. And yeah, other than that, rewards up to the end of the video, and I will talk to you guys later.